Oh, shit. God damn, Spy. What the fuck is this? Oh yeah, he knew he had to correct course quick. Let's make sure y'all can see greatness. But I want to do this. Not too bright. Light. Turn this down. Bring that ass here. Oh, I need something for the light, huh? Should I turn on my big light right there? I think so. Let's see. Yo, yo, yo. How's my light? I feel like I'm a little off angle too. Oh, shit. Yeah. So how do I record? Oh, start recording. So now I'm recording my stream. I don't know if I heard that. viewer. Hello, hello. To my one viewer, man. Where you coming in from? Where you calling in from? Or where you joining the live from? Is the audio cool? What a strong bounce. It said 648 is my level I won't go past. Crude oil is down. Natural gas is down. I feel like my lighting is not good. Oh, you know what? Night light on. Okay. I see myself clearly now. That's a bit better as well. Touchdown. Let's focus on some news.
Chuck Schumer of New York. We had you booked here this morning for a number of things that you came here to talk about, including what's happening at the nation.
Great. All right. In those small areas, we have breaking news. Let's stop. And I just want to, before we go to this, I want to just confirm. I just want to confirm that is a Truth Social post. Alex, can you check the Truth Social feed? We're going to be going from this to John Lemire. Just got a post from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Significant. Read it.
Yeah, I'm reading it now. It is confirmed. It's on Truth Social. It's also been amplified by White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt.
Okay.
The president, just a few moments ago, in all caps, writes, "I'm pleased to report the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period.
Hey.
Subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions.
Buddy Brower.
Thank you for your
I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me know, man. I know, let's look at some big long-term investment plays. Let's just do a quick scan. Some of the biggest companies. I mean, yeah, I thought NVIDIA was buys here. It's repeatedly come down to this level. As long as NVIDIA comes down to this level, this bottom line, it'll be buys. That's the theme of the market. I got Apple. I had a win on Apple. I think I charted this already though, or I documented it in my trade journal. I want to see Apple cross down below this ray. Come down to this bottom trend line. That's where I want to be investing in Apple. I want to be investing in Apple below the median of this channel, below this halfway point on this channel. And then I just have an alert set. If it starts to cross down, I could probably make money on puts. Amazon pushing up. Amazon has pushed down. It's at the bottom of its channel. It's decent buys, pretty decent buys, right? Halfway below, more than down, more well within a buy zone. So Meta, I would love buying Meta, building up some position in Meta as it approaches its bottom trend line. It's below that halfway point as well. Now I'm talking shares. Same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft looks beautiful. Down at this bottom trend line, touching it. It could break below for further sells, but I think you're willing to accept that at such a discount from the all-time highs, right? Getting this thing 30% off from all-time highs. It'll likely continue ranging, right? It'll probably long term is years. So to be super specific, anything over a year is long term. Anything less than a year is short term. That's how economics will consider long term. Anything over a year, most financial people will consider anything over a year long term, like technically speaking. And then anything under a year is technically short term. And to add some more nuance to when I'm saying long term, I'm talking like if I'm buying Microsoft down here and I think I'm buying it at value, my plan isn't to sell it in 2 years. My plan is to hold it 5, 10, 15 years. So for the younger cats out there too, I think it's really important to be looking like 40 years out. And some of the plays that you could just kind of start to see forming early right now, right? It's like AI, nuclear, robotics, space exploration, those type of 40-year plays. Yeah, broken into taxes, right? That's how taxes legally sees it too, right? Like short-term versus long-term capital gains, right? Anything under 2 years could be taxes capital gains, but for sure under 1 year, anything under 1 year is for sure getting taxes capital gains. And to be clear though, that's if you sell it, right? So if you buy and sell anything within a year and you make money on it, and I think the caveat is you have to pull it out of your brokerage account. You might not have to, and I always love Google, do you pay capital gains on the gains that stay within your brokerage account? And so with me, in my instance, not just the gains, but the like trading gains. This is a good question. So yeah, I still, so if, as a trader, so short-term trades, I'd have to still, even all my realized gains that even stay within my brokerage account, you have to kind of still pay taxes on that, which is crazy to say out loud. But I also know you can write off your losses. So you can write off an unlimited amount of capital losses to offset capital gains in a tax year, but net losses against ordinary income are capped. So yeah, you can make 5,000, lose 4,000, and write off your net losses. If I'm understanding that correctly, I might be saying that wrong, but I'm almost positive that will make sense. And then you don't even pay taxes on that 1,000 because you'd be writing off about 4,000. So that's super important too. Like the way you file your taxes is super important. Google's a beast. Google has such a strong moat, it's not even funny. YouTube, Androids are getting better. Search engine, I don't think will ever be not saying Google it. It's been on a tear. And I think I was talking about 40-year plays, right? And there's nuclear ETFs making a rise, AI ETFs making a rise. I'm a big fan of robotics. Uber is a good one. Good 40-year play. People are still going to be saying just Uber. Obviously Tesla. Elon's focus. I also really like, I mean, GE Vernova is really good. GE Vernova is basically like the picks and shovels for energy. They make all the equipment. Buddy Brower, you might know about GE Vernova. It's not a, I don't think it's an electrical, more of an electrical company. Maybe not. Vistra is a utility company. This is a really good play too. I feel like it's in a good channel. And one thing about looking at charts and one thing about understanding fundamentals is just like you don't want to put yourself in a complete like silo. You don't want to put either or in a silo. So you want to understand charts. You want to understand charts. You also want to understand, okay, you know of it. You want to know charts. You want to know fundamentals, and then you want to know market sentiment. So market sentiment was super bearish. I'm looking for CNN, fear and greed. So like you really want to have kind of a understanding of macro environment, market sentiment. So we're still pretty fearful. Like it sounds good that Trump announced a 5-day pause on the strikes, but we have to consider that it's just 5 days. So that's right now happening, right? And so hopefully we can consider 40-year plays, but it's going to be like, what's the long-term ramifications of already had going to war, right? All the boats still stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, right? Exxon's wildly benefiting from this. Shell benefiting, and Venezuela, the Venezuela play too. I don't know if they'll actually go in. I think Exxon was talking about, and Buddy Bro, you might have to be super focused on what's going on in the oil and gas field, but the Venezuela thing was crazy. ConocoPhillips. They've talked about investing in Venezuela. I know they had that round table at the White House with like the top the CEOs of major oil companies and stuff like that. They've kind of skyrocketed since the capture of Maduro. And then I think the Venezuelan government, at first they had stopped, like, I don't know what year was they stopped foreign investment, but there was already a lot of foreign investors in the region. But now they opened it back up. The vice president that became president, she opened it back up to foreign investment. I don't know if there's anyone, foreign investors come into Venezuela, foreign oil. Yeah, they approved the bill, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anyone has made the investment, any company. The market's officially open. Let's take a look at my best setups. So, yeah, exactly. They all have existing equipment there. But they technically lost the equipment because when the previous regime said, either the previous regime or the previous regime, not even the previous regime, because it was Maduro was a predecessor, right? So the previous regime, either Maduro or the person he preceded, either shut it all down or like said, hey, Venezuela's gonna control everything. They lost all their equipment. That was like billions of losses, or millions, probably billions of losses for them. So maybe, and then based on the roundtable, they were saying like, yeah, jacked it. Yeah, they said based on the roundtable that, because it was twice, right? Like it happened to them twice technically. Like the first time they went in, like in the 50s or 40s, maybe even a bit earlier than that, maybe the 30s or something like that. Venezuela got super rich, and they took the equipment, and then they tried to do it again. They tried to come back. They tried to open it up again or something like that, and then they shut them out again. I think it happened twice. So they're skeptical now that they could just go in and put money into it and everything is just gonna turn out okay. So this play is falling. Was I in this play? Let me break down. So this is Saint Joe Company. This is a real estate development company. They build on a large scale. They're a $3.71 billion company. Let me break this down fast. So we got a bottom trend line, we got a top trend line, and I trade based off of shapes and structures. So like basically I start from the longest time frame. So I usually look at the entire existence of a stock and see if that's relevant, and then I go to what's relevant, and then I know the all-time high price is relevant, and I know it's relevant because price was approaching that all-time high. It wasn't approaching it as fast, right? It took a slowdown. It hit some hits right here, and then started to lock into this range. We could call that range an ascending wedge. We could zoom into that ascending wedge, keeping in mind that price is still approaching an all-time high. Usually when price approaches an all-time high, it will treat it as a resistance. It'll be hard to break through it. And we know that's kind of happening here because it's approaching at a fast pace and then it slowed down, right? Within this wedge, price was at the bottom. It started to speed up and then it slowed down in between to this channel. So price locked into this in between these two trend lines, and then a head and shoulder here at the top of this higher time frame wedge within this channel. So there's two things here. Usually when you have a structure that's moving upwards like this, an ascending wedge like this, or an ascending channel, excuse me, it's high probability that if it meets any type of resistance that it's going to fall and break to the downside. Not only did it set up like that and in the ascending channel, it also gave me a head and shoulders here on the middle time frame, so the 4 hour. And I can zoom in a bit more and explain that we got this left shoulder, price locked in between the left shoulder, raised up, came back down, locked on the right shoulder. And I don't know how familiar you are with trading, but head and shoulder, or how familiar you are with pattern trading. It's trading shapes and patterns. So we can see that we're going to play the downside. We could sell and have some sort of targets to the downside, and price has fallen. It opened a bit higher today, but it broke this trend line. So what a lot of traders will do is like, hey, when price breaks trend lines and comes back and touches that trend line again, it'll treat it as resistance. And it'll look to make some sell. So this is like really good solid entry for a short-term trade. So like my trading is like 30 to, I'm looking to buy a contract that's has a option to expire between 30 to 45 days from the day that I want to enter the trade. And then I'll shut that trade down about a week before expiration, either in the calls or the sell. So let's take a look at some of my current winners. Zillow Group, I shut down. I didn't want it to, price came back above this trend line and I was like, okay, cool, I'll shut you down. It seems like it's gonna continue to fall. I was worried that it would break to the upside on me. It looks like I should have just listened to my original, or just believed in my original thesis, because this is an ascending channel. It broke out and has made this newer formation on the smaller time frame. And on newer formation on a smaller time frame after a breakout to the downside can be considered either a continuation, meaning it'll form a structure but will still continue to break to the downside. And I was worried that that thesis was breaking. So I went ahead and shut it down a little bit in the money, or a little bit just at the money. Oust is a pretty good winner for me and hasn't done anything. So similar as Zillow, broke down and made like another formation, like a smaller formation, right, than the big formation, or like a continuing set of the same formations. We're actually inside the ascending channel. Price came to the top of the channel and gave me an ascending structure. It gave me, looks like a double top here, and then broke down the bottom part of the trend line. Price continued to make the same ascending channels and break out to the downside again, another ascending channel. And I was lucky enough, I wouldn't call it lucky enough, I've done this for like 4 or 5 years, so I was able to quickly identify that, boom, I could kind of get at the part where you control the risk the most, right here off the top of the trend line. And that's what I need to do better as a trader, is always trying to get in where I can control the risk the most, and I understand where the thesis is invalidated, right? Because if I get in closest to the point where the thesis is invalidated and it moves slightly against me, you lose the least amount of money. But if I were to enter now, for example, because the thesis could still play out, price could still fall down to the downside and make another pattern like so. The problem though is, let's say it doesn't break out that much and starts to make a new type of pattern. That could be a losing trade, right? But if price is but my entry's here and it breaks out a little bit and makes a new pattern, at least I'm still in the green, right? At least I'm still pretty decently into the money already. Let's go into Bank of America. Bank of America is funny because I want to go to my watch list. Let's go to the banks. I have a sector for banks. So this is the bank ETF. And a lot of the banks, I'll get off the damn 4-month chart. A lot of the banks were rolling over. They done gapped up now because I think broader economy, banks can be kind of one of those pillars of the broader economy. So like, if this is rolling over, we know the economy's probably rolling over, and it's in a slight pullback on the weekly. So a lot of, if you just look at the green and red, I got a lot of junk on there, but a lot of it was rolling over. A lot more red than green in recent time. A lot more falling than rising in the last couple weeks. But now, go back to green. It looks like banks are slightly popping up, and this is what I was worried about. This previous like points of support, about right here and here, that Bank of America wouldn't be able to break. So I was able to enter a trade. America was starting to fall, but the structure started to look different. So it looks like I need to close this trade if I'm not already closed on the trade, because this is more of a reversal structure than a continuation structure. More of a reversal structure than a continuation structure. So now I have to ask myself, if I do decide to close this trade out, when did I enter this trade? So on the 6th of May. If I do decide to close this trade out, which it looks like it makes sense to do. Looks like we have a reversal correction, reversal structure, and then price gapped up to the upside, meaning it made a huge jump. Price made a sharp correction. Maybe not a sharp correction, but a sharp repricing that shows that, hey, this might not be the same thesis. The same thesis might not continue to play out. AS, Emmer Sports. This was just like a break and retouch. So let me take these bottom trends off. See it better. This was the large time frame structure. Price fell into this kind of wedge or kind of triangle pattern. It broke through the bottom trend line. It retouched, made a nice entry there, and price has been kind of falling since, making lower lows and lower highs. In phase was calls. So this is the first example I'm showing of like a call today. That's a winner. As you can see, I have every long position or short position is like an entry. So if you see multiple, that means the first entry or second entry was a loser. But the nice thing about my system is that one or two losers gets completely absorbed by one winner. So I like to make I'll take at most 3 shots on one thesis. So my thesis for this trade is that, hey, we're in a descending pattern. What I know about descending structures, trading patterns, is that they tend to break well to the upside. Like a descending channel. Descending channels break well to the upside. Like this one, for example. This was a descending channel, broke to the upside. It's now back in another descending channel, looking to catch it to the upside. But you really want to make sure that when you catch it to the upside, you got a nice like touch on the bottom trend line, or you have a strong indication that, like this, for example, this structure right here, if I zoom in, where'd it go? Is actually multiple bottoms here. That gives you that kind of inclination that, like, hey, I'm not going to continue sliding down. I'm actually going to push to the upside of this structure. Still got some current winners. Viking. This is an ascending channel. I think down. my risk. Kind of insane, but it was picture perfect ascending structure. Touches here. I was looking at it on the 30 daily chart because this is like 30-minute candles all in one day. I was like, it gapped down, continuation structure. Let's get my entry set up, and then boom, literally rewarded instantly. Might be doing something else. It looks like some more continuation, the way I would look at it. It's a very large trend lines. It will be that low, these highs, and these lows, and these highs. So I do believe it's going to continue to make these continuation structures and come down to the downside now. It's almost time to close this trade though. I probably should have closed it. Probably should have closed it on Friday. Friday that just passed. Similar to this one. This is an interesting one because overall, a head and shoulders pattern, especially a reversal head and shoulders pattern, you're really looking for calls to the upside. But when I saw this picture perfect ascending structure at the top of this kind of trend line, and it pushed down and broke, it gave a retouch, I was in it. It gave a retouch, I was in it, and then boom. And then I closed the trade down here at the bottom. And it seemed like it was probably best to do so, right? Because price never continued further than those lows and these lows. Just a tiny bit more. So I didn't close it out perfectly at the bottom, but I closed it out on the right day when I saw this candlestick. And now that it's made so many lows, it's made a gap up. We know that in a revert on the higher time frame, it's a reverse head and shoulders. This could be a good entry for a long position. Either off this line would be perfect, but even maybe here would be pretty solid as well, as it's gapping up and has some strong momentum to the upside. Now, it's an apparel company, so just think about the current macro economic environment. How risk off or risk on can you be? I wouldn't fault anybody for just entering today off this move. We've already had a big move to the downside. We know this level is strong. I'm looking for the upside move. It's kind of confirmed it with this gap. And then you know where your invalidation point is. I'm not a guy that puts targets up. I'm a guy that reacts to the market, but if you were to put a target up, and let's just say you had a 30-day time period to try to win, or let's just call out first targets. First target is definitely to the top of this this right shoulder. So we know if price approaches and gets to the top of this shoulder and starts to do this, we're getting out. We're selling our trade somewhere in here before it pushes down again. Truist Bank. This was a trade where when you have to do top down, this is a trade that just shows why top down is so important. And you could trade just off of, you could swing trade just off of the easy monthly candles. Previous all-time high, bearish pin bar. For those who don't know, bearish pin bar shows that usually at the top of a trend, of an uptrend, you get a bearish pin bar, tells you that the trend is likely to reverse and push to the downside. So that was 1 month. That's usually a super strong indication. Anything on the monthly is some of your strongest indications, especially for candlesticks. There was one over here. There's one right here. Taking the cells down. My ideal target is to the bottom of this trend line, but this is a monthly, so these trends span out over multiple years, so not like I'm going to be holding this put contract for multiple years. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate you joining the live stream, Buddy Brower. Hope you're learning something. If you got any questions or anything specific you want to talk about, just let me know. Dow Incorporated is a chemical processing company. What do they process again? Something related to, I know it's directly tied to some of the things that are happening in the Strait of Hormuz. Hydrocarbons and energy and packaging specialty plastics. And since Venezuela, since Iran, it's been pretty good. But as you can see, there's a pin bar up there on the weekly, not on the monthly. But you gotta have to take the last two. Well, this is Monday, so this is the last week. Just know that these weekly candles, maybe not as strong as some of the initials, especially like this pin bar. This like bullish pin bar, basically the opposite of the bullish pin bar. It's still pushing though. This one we kind of just have a breakout from this channel. Give us a nice descending structure with a nice bullish pin bar here on the 4 hour. Break pushes all the way up. You see another price starts to push down. Got a bottom trend, a top trend line, and you got some pushes up. And these circles are just like showing the two touches. You only need 2 touches on top, 2 touches on bottom to have a structure. So I was just circling those out. Price breaks out, it comes back and retest on the 4 hour. and kind of just continues to push up. And it gaps up again last week on Thursday. Now it's just at the top. This looks like a double top. So this looks like a reversal structure. Price may fall from this level. Price may not push above this level for a bit, or it's gonna be a big test to see if it could push through this level. I can see it come back and testing and falling again, and then after that probably falling back maybe a little bit before having the momentum to go higher again. We'll see, right? Especially with this stock, we'll see. It's gonna be probably based off of what happens in Iran. Snowflake. Looks like this first target failed a bit. Got stopped out by some of these candles. But as you can see in there, we do got that bearish pin bar on the daily time frame. Got a nice channel here. And prices started to push down. Apple. I think I only put Apple in here because I made some money. I need to log it on my trading journal. But Citigroup is also pushed back. Another banking company that I had my sights on catching some of the plays to the downside, but they're pushing back strong. Which I have Blackstone in here. It's not as up as high as I would want it. I go over. My best setups. I think I skipped my money plays. My in the monies. Oh, this is interesting because I told myself to be patient. I wanted to take some sells, and it looked like that was the smart play, to be patient here and wait for the momentum up to catch maybe a new structure on the downside here. New gas to push back to the downside more. Interesting. So this might not break out to the upside like I think it will. Did push up a little bit. I'm expecting Blackstone to recover, but it might continue this descending pattern before it actually breaks out. Sorry if it's hella background noise as well. Don't got no soundproofing right now. Probably gonna get headphones, but I don't think y'all are picking it up. Maybe, maybe not. Not 100% sure. I do got a little music going on. There's my music. I'm not copyright infringing. Maybe I should have their song somewhere. But yeah, Blackstone. Ascending pattern on the weekly since 2009. Pretty strong ascending pattern. In today's time, 265, we got these two highs that pushed down from the height of the ascending channel. And then I was betting on it coming down to the low, April 2025, making this corrective pattern, reversal pattern, and pushing up to the upside. It slightly broke into the to that line of support. Not the strongest line of support. Tried to catch some calls on the ascension here, and I think it's playing out. Right, we got a kind of a continuation structure here, but I'm not a huge believer. It opened down here, right? So it pushed up, pushed back down, open here. So we want to see, this is a bullish pin bar, but we want to see maybe not even a pin bar, maybe something else actually. Because this is a pretty strong pushback down, right? I'll keep holding on to this, but I could see this kind of falling off. At least going back, legging down and going back to these lows. So might be a loss, but I have no qualms re-entering this either here or off this bottom line here, off the bottom of the actual higher time frame. And that'll more than, one of those winning will more than make up for this one loss. So continue to play the thesis out. And then yeah, some interesting setups here. Pure Technologies, retesting. I'll probably enter this trade for puts. Higher time frame channel, break, makes another channel into recess. Very nice. I love stuff like that. That's like a two stacking. That's like two stacks of confluence right here. Not only that, is it retested here and had a push down, right? Retested here, push down, retested here, push down. And now price is at that level where it's like it makes sense to take some sells. Some people might be a bit nervous seeing it with this nice green bar, even a pin bar here, but if that's the case, if we want to be super sure, we could stay patient on this. We could wait for our push down, maybe a break of this line, break of this trend line, and then give it another corrective entry would be nice. So we can stay patient on that. We can be really patient on that. Because the goal isn't to make just small winners or small losers over and over and have hella volume. The goal is to catch those home runs. You catch 10 home run trades. Say I take 100 trades. 60 of them, maybe a little less, 55 of them will have small winners and small losers. They'll offset each other. 10 of them will be medium losers. Another 10 will be another 15 to, you know what I'm saying? It'll be 10 to 15 will be medium winners. They'll kind of offset each other as well. Slightly bump to the winners. And now it's the home runs that pay for the whole system. Even if I do have slightly more losers or medium losers, those home run hitters, my average loss will be like $50 at this moment, according to my account size. So like 1% of my account. This looks really good too for actually calls. And I was looking at this for, I wanted it for sells. But this looks good for calls now. This is a bottom. This is a bottom. So this is a double bottom. And then I think this is a double bottom. I would reckon it to be another double bottom. The reason I don't call it a triple bottom here is because it doesn't feel connected. Like if it maybe did this, I would call it a triple bottom, but it doesn't feel connected. So I think it's more of a double bottom. Triple bottom. This is the same type of corrective pattern or reversal structure. And it then can continue to maybe leg back up. This looks good. Hold on, because I mean, that shit cool, but I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more. Talk that shit, you know what I'm saying? She a heart in the I don't want no braver in my pocket. I feel like a Aretha. Okay. This is exotic. Money chaser. I really like this trade. Because when you got these like larger, girthier channels, when they leg up, and what a leg up or leg down means is it makes a move back to the top side or it makes a full move back to the downside. All right, you have the potential to catch the full move or a big chunk of the move to the upside. That's a home run play. Too legit to quit. So this is an example of me trying to catch one of those legs up. Price moves down on me. Structure changes, but it looks like it gapped up to the upside, so it's out there. So it looks like it could still play out. Don't want to be too aggressive. It's right there sitting in the middle, and we talked about controlling risk, right? That's why this looks really interesting. Controlling risk is the most important part of trading. It hurts. Want to wait for confirmations and just control risk. So this was a previous high. Now it's broken down. I want to be patient because it gapped down here. It bounced off this at this point, but be patient. This is interesting. I was looking on a multi-touch, multi-year, multi-touch. And it went ahead and might push down. Did I just click real estate? Okay. It pushed back. Looks like it's pushing to the upside. That's about it. Is this a real trade I wanted to make? Oh, because I was looking at these highs. So we got the calls. Now we just need something that tells us, gives us an entry. Something that says on a small time frame, hey, this is back sells, or this is reversing. I kicked my. This is not a current winner. This should be here. Oh, this is just interesting as well. This might round off. But I think this is just overall interesting breakdown here. Push down. Price found itself, kind of hockey sticked. Gapped up, strong push to the top. Made this structure. At the bottom of the structure, made like a wedge down here, pushed it upside. Not a lot of steam anymore, but it looks like it might continue to the upside. Interesting. Looking at this, is it a retest of the, what is it trying to do? Up or down? Let me know. And we ride. This is a pretty good setup. It's probably gonna be sells, but whatever it tells us, don't have to guess that one. It'll tell us, and we ride on the direction it gives us. I think this will come up to the top here of this structure and give us some sort of correction, reversal correction. Might just be something quick, but we catch them. Interesting. Retest. Continuation pattern. Pushing up to the upside. Larger time frame. Trend line to be aware of, but we have higher time frame bias to take these calls to the upside. And that's about it. Oh, this is pushing up. So this is like a good example of a stock that's like you should take the calls on. And we know financials, they were just pushing down. They all came down to an important trend line. Now it's like time for them to push back up. So let's adjust the account. Oh. Okay, these are our money moves. Alst is running down a little bit today. Everything's kind of down today. I think I'm closing Bank of America. Let's confirm and send that. Damn, I didn't catch how much I just made from that. Anyways. I should have wrote down that amount. I could definitely check though. So I sold it for $230. What did I buy it for? Took a bad loss on Zillow. Just not sticking to my trading parameters. Where is? Let me do it like this. Anyways, let's trade the tickets I want to trade. I like Jeff here a lot. It's not expensive, not overly expensive. Look at the 15 May calls. 380. Take one of these. Limit price. Confirm and send. Oh shit. So Jay's not a current winner, but it's very, very solid 8-tier setup. St. Joe's sales look really good. Joe puts. It's pretty expensive. The highest bid is at 220. I'll put a good to cancel out. Not for no 570. For the highest bid, I'll match the highest bid to Oh, there's 240. Add another $20 on that. Good till cancel. From send. Oh, it said I don't even have enough. Apple. I'm broke. That might be it for the day then. Option buying powers at 1,000 though. Maybe I sent that wrong. Buy custom. Oh, I didn't make it. I know I did. I tried to buy fucking 10 contracts. Good till canceled. 240. Well, let's make a day. Stick within your trading parameters. If it runs away, it runs away. I'm already in NTNX. So this is something that is in the green, to be honest. Do I want to catch Barrick Mining Co? It's not there yet. I don't think NetApp is there. STM, I'm in the money on. I'm not going to be canceling it. I think it's just going to continue to push down. It's slightly up today, but I think that's about it for the day. Nothing else is super intriguing. That's close for me. A lot of these are already either in the money. I sold my Bank of America. I bought financials to the upside. Truist Financial. Financial is a bank, so I have another bank to the downside. Maybe I shouldn't have been so eager to take financials to the upside just yet. And that's it. I have probably some conflicting trade here, just on like I think it's a lot of sells to the downside for financials, but they're at key levels that I don't think they're gonna break, but levels break all the time, so we'll see. This war stops and markets decide to, you know what I'm saying, handle themselves, which they probably won't. This is like a hedge position almost. It looks really good for sales. So. We need to get our stop losses, but what's this? Oh yeah, rejected. So yeah, just to see. We got into Jeff, got into Joe. That's the day. That's the day. We're done about an hour. Hour into things, kind of running over our best setups. Going over other generic stuff, having good convos, chill time, same time tomorrow. Probably gonna try to do this at 8 o'clock every weekday. And not too long, that's the work day. Gotta just chop up some of this content, baby.